is SportsCenter with Elle Duncan and Kevin Nagandi.
That's right. Thanks for sticking around after PTI. In fact, we're going to go back to PTI in a minute with their level of concern for Kyrie Irving. He's missing practice now, but the Nets preseason home opener is tomorrow. What's going to happen? What do they think?
I see you with the fire kicks, okay? I see you.
What are you
I
talking
see you
about?
flexing a little bit.
What do you mean?
Plus, why Dan Orlovsky thinks Matthew Stafford and the Rams will have a big night against the Seahawks defense. We stay in the NFL for our Thursday headlines. Falcons receiver Calvin Ridley will not
say hello to our NFL Nation reporters. We've got Lindsey Theory here covering the Rams for us and Brady Henderson on the Seahawks. I'm going to start with Lindsey here. Obviously a short week for the Rams. Obviously a bad taste in their mouth. How did they prepare for this tough Seahawk opponent? Him and Sean McVay are licking their chops at that cover 3 defense for the Seahawks. Let's check in with Brady Henderson. We just heard Lindsey sort of mention those struggles that Russ has had when it comes to facing the Rams. Why does he think tonight's going to be any different?
Yeah, well, they really have to see a lot of tonight as they try to slow down Donald.
Interesting, too, because the Seahawks can't get their defense off the field, and because of the run game being so important, they do run one of the slower paces in the NFL. They also have yet to be flagged for an offensive holding call, the lone remaining team with that distinction. We'll see if they can hold off Aaron Donald long enough to keep that going for 5 games straight. As we say thank you to Lindsey Theory and Brady Henderson joining us ahead of Thursday Night Football, Kev. All right, so far Kyrie Irving's standoff with being vaccinated has only affected practice. Significant by some standards, considering how little time Brooklyn's Big Three spent together last year, but certainly not enough to ring alarms. However, the plot is thickening, gentlemen. All right, last month, former NFL running back Clinton Portis pleaded guilty to defrauding a healthcare program for retired players and their families as part of a nationwide scheme that paid out $2.5 million in fraudulent claims. Today, news that the NBA similarly embroiled in a widespread conspiracy involving numerous former players and millions in bogus claims. Dan Murphy has more. Comes in for defense in the 7th, and look what he does, plays hero. As we say hello to Doug Glanville, and more importantly, we get something that has been so many years in the making. We're going to get a DS series with the Giants and the Dodgers. It's hard to believe they have never played each other in the postseason. So go ahead and whet everybody's appetite. Tell us why this is such a big deal.
Well, I mean, it's history. And you go back 1958, they formed these teams in California.
Yeah. Also, in the ALDS, we're going to see a Red Sox team playing someone they're very familiar with in the regular season and in the postseason. That, of course, being the Rays. How do you see that series playing out as it opens up today?
The Rays are strong. I mean, you're talking about 100 wins also, but this is also
name recognition on the Red Sox side. I would venture to say most people couldn't name anybody on the Rays, and nonetheless, I heard someone describe it as a team with no bench, just starters that aren't starting that day, which is a great way to describe it. Doug Glanville gets us set for playoffs as they start tonight. We're joined now by Monday Night Football's Louis Riddick. Right there, I hear you laughing. What are you making of what Lamar Jackson just said?
Quarterbacks always want the calls, Elle. Of course they
put the red jersey on, then they're fine during the games, right? No one will touch them. That's how that works? No? Doesn't work that way? Okay, got it.
Yeah, in my day, it is how it works. You know, you get sat down, you hit the guy with the red jersey on, for sure.
Fair. It's funny, though, you're talking about getting knocked out, and we're showing the Ravens there, but of course they played the Broncos. They lost Teddy Bridgewater to a concussion after getting hit in the head. All right, let's talk about Sunday. The Giants, all that anybody asked for when it came to the Cowboys and starting to try to see what their season could look like. That outlook was really contingent on the offensive line bouncing back, which they have, and that defense not being abysmal, and they've been better than that. Louis Riddick, always better than abysmal. Some might say fantastic at his job. Thanks for joining us here on SportsCenter. So the beauty of sports, and in particular working here at ESPN, is highlighting the intersection of sports and lifestyle and cultural impact. Case in point, if you've been checking out my Adidas, right? They're a collaboration. J Balvin is a music superstar and noted sneakerhead as well. He's actually worked with Beyonce and Dua Lipa and Cardi B. But he has another partnership that's taking the sneaker world by storm. For Hispanic Heritage Month, the undefeated's Nick DePaula sat down with the Colombian entertainer. And say welcome to our NFL Nation reporters, Lindsey Theory on the Rams and Brady Henderson on the Seahawks. What a difference an hour makes. To start the 7 o'clock show, we talked to Lindsey first, but Brady, we've got some news here. Adam Schefter reporting within the last 20 minutes that Seahawks running back Chris Carson is out with a neck injury. So how are the Seahawks going to distribute his workload tonight? 4 games last year with injury. We certainly will see as we now check in with Lindsey Theory for the Rams' perspective. A short week. I mentioned it's the toughest loss of the season for them. How are they preparing for this Seahawks team, a squad that they obviously know quite well? Elle, Rams. Kevin, I remarked to Lindsay when we were checking the line last hour, like, oh, it's a short week. Maybe the Rams appreciate it, right? Because they can get the bad taste out of their mouth and they're angry. And she was like, well, they were pretty banged up, so they'll probably would have appreciated the rest, but that's fine too. Thank you, Lindsay, for being the professional here on the set. Brady Henderson for joining us ahead of Thursday Night Football. Well, actually, Elle. Does Shaq get a day off? Okay.
No.
All right, I was wondering. So last month, former NFL running back Clinton Portis pleaded guilty to defrauding a health care program for retired players and their families as part of a nationwide scheme that paid out $2.5 million in fraudulent claims. Today, news that the NBA is similarly embroiled in a widespread conspiracy involving numerous former players and millions in bogus claims. Dan Murphy has more. And Seahawks Rams.
A lot of points. Rams win by a field goal.
Is this subtle if I just end like this? My shoe is cool.